everyone, and welcome back to the Homestead Knitting Podcast. My name is Danielle, and this is where I talk about my knitting, crochet, yarn related, sometimes spinning. So for today's video, it is officially December 31st, 2022, the last day of the year. I feel like I kind of waited last minute to film this video, but I figured whatever, I'll just sit down this afternoon and film it, and then hopefully get it published on YouTube before the new year. I don't know. So I hope everybody had a good holiday if they celebrate. For me, I had the most amazing Christmas I've probably had in a long time. So right when COVID hit, I think 3 years in a row we've done this now, my boyfriend and I have just decided that Christmas Day we're not going anywhere, we're not seeing anybody. Like, if somebody wants to call us, we'll answer the phone, but I'm not going anywhere, I'm not seeing anybody, I'm hanging out at home, and we are celebrating Christmas by ourselves and just opening gifts casually if we got each other something. And yeah, I had the most relaxing time. I did do an early Christmas with my family. My family's totally cool with not actually seeing each other on Christmas Day and just doing whatever works for us. So honestly, in my heart, I feel like very rejuvenated and very much like, wow, I feel good, like New Year's coming up, I had a great time, I had a great holiday. And since the last video, I kind of had a few moments of chaotic crafting and finished a couple projects, one completely finished and actually gifted for Christmas, and the other one is half finished, and then I have another finished object, and then I have a bunch of new acquisitions to show off. But first, before I get into the projects, I thought I would do a quick summary. I just wrote a little list for myself of projects that I actually know I completed this year. I think there might be a few more that I'm forgetting about, but I made a quick tally of like all the projects I completed this year, just in case you're wondering. I completed 2 crochet hats and 2 knit hats. I made 8 crocheted toys. So I made a bear, a dragon, a squid, a bunny, 3 memory bears, and a Yoda. So the Yoda was the last minute Christmas gift that I made and then gifted for Christmas. I gave it to my dad and he absolutely loved it. I did make a Ravelry project page with a picture of the Yoda. If I remember, I'll actually insert a picture of Yoda in the video before it's me talking, so you can see it, because I just took like a picture and I already gifted it. And then I did make 2 crochets, 1 crochet and 1 knit sweater, one for my mom and then one for my boyfriend. And then I knit 2 t-shirts, I crocheted a blanket. Apparently I only made 1 pair of socks this year, but I think I made 2. And then I also made mitts, 1 knit and 1 crochet, and then I went through 51 yarn tags. Now, before anybody's wondering how much yarn that was, it could range anywhere from 25 grams to like a little ball of yarn all the way up to like 100 grams of yarn. So I don't actually know. I didn't do the thing where you calculate how many yards you used and then turn it into kilometers. I think maybe next year I'll do that, like at the start of the year, very diligently, but I did not do it this year. It seems a little intense. Anyways, those are all the projects I completed this year that I actually know of, and that equaled out to about 19, which I was amazed at, because 19 would mean I'm making somewhere between a project to a project and a half a month, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. That is a lot. I'm almost worried if I didn't count more projects how many I actually completed. But anyways, okay, finished objects. I have this one here, vanilla socks. I just used my basic vanilla sock recipe. I did Afterthought heels. This is Vintage Christmas Card by Polka Dot Creek. It came as a set, so like the green was a little mini in the set. And I think I did about somewhere between 24 and like 30 rounds for the leg, and then the foot was 55 rounds before the toe. And I knit the main body of the sock on 2.75mm needles, And then when it came to doing the toe, I didn't have a spare set of needles, so I knit it on 3mm needles, and then same with the heels. And I only did that because I already knit sock number 1 on 3mm, and I didn't want to knit sock number 2 on the 2.75 because I wasn't sure if it was changed my gauge enough to be noticed, because these will actually be a gift. I'm gonna gift these for cute little Christmas socks, and yes, Christmas is already over, but I did not see the recipient at Christmas, so I think it's perfectly okay to gift it. And that's what I will be doing with these. The second, I think it's in here, finished object. I just have my Longview Creations project bag. And then another chaotic crafting moment. 10 days before Christmas, I sent my friends a video saying, hey, do you think I can knit socks in 10 days before Christmas? Or I think it was like 15 or something. And I actually knit a sock in about a week. And for this sock, I used Malabrigo, I think it's the Arios. Yeah, Ario. Ouch. Woo. I just stabbed myself on the needles. Okay, I have colorway 164 in the colorway Sir. And I did, what did I do? Okay, so I did 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. I did 20 rounds. And then I carried it on down the leg, and then on the back of the leg I just did straight stockinette. I did a German short row heel, and then I did 2x2 ribbing on the front of the foot, and then on the back I just did plain stockinette and the regular wedge or like square toe is what I did for this one, and I just Kitchener stitched it. I think there's about 80 rounds total for the leg, then the heel, and then the foot is, I don't actually remember, but I do have a project page made for this. And this is my first pair of DK weight socks, and I did start the second one before Christmas. I haven't picked it up in a bit. I think I'm 20 some, just shy of 30 rounds in the stockinette portion, and then I have the cuff here. And I'm knitting these on double pointed needles. I don't use them often, but these are my Haya Sharps, US for 3.5mm, and I have the 6-inch set, and it's a 5 needle set, and I did stab myself on them. And I remember when I first got these as a beginner knitter, I was like, wow, I don't know who would want to knit with these. They're so sharp. I was poking my finger a lot, and I almost tore my skin open actually trying to use the needles, because I was pushing the stitches with the needles, but the tip of the needle kept catching my finger, so I did not use them for a very long time. But I am a much more experienced knitter now, and I know to not knit with them that way. Project number 2 is a brand new cast on, and this is also made with brand new yarn to me. I don't remember what this is called. I think this is called Spring Things. It is a shawl scarf. I don't actually, okay, I need to Google what the difference between a scarf is and the difference between a shawl, because to me they are both accessories that I can wear around my neck, but I don't really know what classifies what is what. But anyways, I am knitting a One Skein Wonder scarf, shawl, thing, whatever you want to classify it as, and this is my yarn cake. This yarn is Color Story. I don't know the colorway name, but I will look it up and I can add it to the video. Okay, so I have Color Story yarns. It is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 400 meters per 100 grams. And it's made by Estelle Yarns. And this one is actually brand new to my stash. My boyfriend bought it for me for Christmas. And I cast this on Christmas Day, and I was not able to put it down. until I had another moment of chaotic crafting and said, oh, can I crochet this hat before the new year, 2 days before the new year starts? And I was like, yep, I'm gonna do it. So I've been doing that instead. I will show you in a minute. It has been very chaotic in my brain lately. And it was so funny because I was knitting this and my boyfriend said it reminded him of sprinkles. However, for me, it reminds me of flowers in the spring and the summertime, and I thought the yarn was so beautiful. So there's lots of little pops of yellow, different shades of pink, there's a little bit of green, and there's like the tiniest bit of black occasionally as well. And I really like this scarf. So it's all in garter stitch, and then you do a front to back increase on the one side. It's a free Ravelry download if you're interested, I forgot to mention. Then you knit 3 rows of garter stitch, then you do your increase again, and then you just keep going till you get to the desired number of stitches, and then you just do the decreases same way. And at the end there is an I-cord edging that you add. You do slip the edge stitches so you get this really nice edge on both sides though. So I think if you wanted to leave off the I-cord, it would still look really beautiful. And I think I'm about halfway through the increases, or just over halfway, so I'm really impressed with myself. Usually when it comes to long-term projects like scarves, I struggle to continue knitting with them because I get kind of bored with them. However, this has been like the perfect project for me, just to pick up and put down and pick up and put down. It honestly felt a lot very similar to me to sock knitting, and I loved it. And I cannot wait to get back to this and just keep working on it again. Oh, I forgot to mention, for my DK weight socks, I'm not following a pattern per se. What I did was I went to Ravelry, I looked up how many stitches somebody would typically cast on for DK weight socks, did an estimate of how many stitches I thought I wanted, or kind of based off of what everybody else was casting on for socks. Typically, like, everybody uses very similar numbers, so I just picked the DK weight version of fingering weight vanilla sock recipe that I figured the cast on number was correct for me. I think I picked 40 something, 40 maybe, 44. I do have a project page made for both of these projects. I will have them linked in case you're curious how many I actually cast on, because I can't remember. But yeah, I'm not actually following a proper knitting pattern. It's just kind of been going off what's going on in my head. Also, if you know how to knit short row heels and you know how to knit sock toes, once you kind of understand how the construction of the sock works, you can just translate it into other yarn weights. You don't actually have to follow a pattern for vanilla socks if you do not want to. That is all up to you. And of course, the last one where I was chaotically crafting is, oh my, covered in hair. One second, I'm just going to remove a few of these hairs. Okay, so this is a crochet hat. I don't often crochet in this stitch. This is the split single crochet stitch, and honestly I'm really happy with how this hat's turning out. I think it looks really good, and I'm just working on the ribbing here, which is being attached last minute, and then it'll just fold up and look like this. And this is the Fair Isle Crochet Hat by Briana K. I don't know if that's the exact name of it. It has these little trees and these little, looks like speckled snow or little hearts to me. I'm not really sure. You could say it's either. And I'm using a 5.5mm hook. The pattern calls for 5mm. I did not do a gauge swatch. I just knew based on the yarn I was using, which is just Bernat Premium. It's just acrylic yarn for my stash. I figured that this yarn is definitely a heavier weight for worsted weight yarn. And I know this stitch makes like very thick fabric. So I wanted to for sure size up. I could have probably sized up to a 6mm and been fine. The pattern is the repeat is for 10 stitches. So I originally thought I was going to knit crochet the adult largest size for the adult. However, I went for the size smaller, and I just eliminated one of the decrease rounds. It is a free pattern on her website, Briana K's website, or you could buy the pattern on Ravelry. And I've just been carrying the yarn on the inside, so the inside of the hat looks very much like the outside. Here is the inside. It still has some ends to weave in, but it still looks pretty good. So that is that. I am hoping to potentially finish this one off tonight. We will see. I might take the night off and finish it tomorrow, and it'll be my first finished object of the new year, even though it's 3/4 finished. Yeah. Okay, so that's all I have for actual projects that I've been working on. And then I have a bunch of acquisitions because I'm 99% sure I didn't show these last time. I am 99% sure they came in the mail the day I filmed a video and then uploaded it, because I had a Black Friday order from Cara & Co. come in, which is just silicone beads, which I use for, what do you call it? For the needles, so I don't lose my stitches off the needles, little stitch stoppers. And then I ordered yarn from an indie dyer who I found out is from Alberta, which is where I live. It was Alberta, Canada, so I was very excited to be able to support another indie dyer within the province I live in. And then my boyfriend surprised me for Christmas, and okay, bless his soul, he went to a local yarn store, which we have been in together, and he bought me a brand new ball winder for Christmas, as well as a Swift. And I would have been so happy with just a ball winder, because I have one, but it's just from Michaels, which, if you don't know what Michaels is, it's just the generic craft store in Canada, and it's also in the States. And I have a generic ball winder from them, but the quality of it's not that great, and I bought it, I think it's almost 10 years old now. I bought it long before I was using skeins of yarn. I would just buy it so I could wind some of my yarn into cakes after the skein would collapse. And I did not know where to buy craft supplies besides the craft store. I didn't know what a local yarn store was at the time. I didn't know like what the better quality craft supplies were, because I just didn't have access to it, and I didn't have anybody to show me the way, I guess, or like teach me, or I was very disconnected from the community, let's put it that way. So anyways, my boyfriend bought me a brand new ball winder, and then he also bought me a Swift, which I was so excited because I didn't own a Swift before. It was one of those things on the list where I felt like I could own one, but I also wasn't buying nearly as many skeins of yarn before. And now this year I'm really venturing out and buying a lot more yarn in skein form, and definitely venturing out buying more indie dyed yarn, which is really exciting because I do like to be able to support other people within the community besides just buying patterns or liking content or watching content. So yeah. And then my boyfriend also bought me 4 skeins of yarn for Christmas to go with the new Swift and ball winder. I was feeling very loved and very spoiled this Christmas. It was such a big surprise, and I was kind of shocked. Number one, he went to the yarn store by himself. Number two, he bought these things for me because he knew that it's one of my biggest hobbies, or something that I very much enjoy, and he wanted me to enjoy it, so I was so happy. Yeah, anyways, okay, I'll just show you the needle stoppers. So Cara & Co. were having a Black Friday sale, and then I also received an email from them that gave me a coupon to receive, I don't remember, I think it was 20% off, like on top of the Black Friday sale. So I picked up 6 sets of needle stoppers. So I have these pink grapefruits, Aren't these cute? If you put two together, it looks like a little grapefruit. I picked up these festive little needle stoppers. They have little green, gold, and red stars on them. I have, these little babies. These little baby ones. They have little flowers. They have little flowers on them. I think they're daisies. Not daisies, just generic flowers. They're yellow. And then I picked up these heart stoppers. I think they're blue, purple. What color would we classify this as? Like a lilac almost? I'm not sure. And then the last set I picked up were these green cacti. And for the Black Friday sale, depending on which color you were getting for needle stoppers and the shape in that and the size depends on how much you'd pay per bead. But I ended up getting a really good deal. I think I saved $10 or $15. I think it might have been $10 cheaper because of the sale. So I was very excited. And then I did end up transferring all of my stitch markers, my row counter, some of my buttons, and the darning needles and the stitch holders spare into this, what do you call this? This is actually for fishing tackle. We have a few spare, and my boyfriend was cool if I took one for my knitting related. So I have all my plastic stitch markers and then some of the handmade stitch markers that I have here, and then the needle stoppers, cable needles. I have a row counter, and then the buttons, and then just my needle stoppers are in there, and honestly very happy with it. Okay, so the next thing I ordered was from Campfire Yarns, which is the indie dyer within Alberta. The reason I made the order was because I saw on the website she had a slub yarn base, which I wanted to try so bad for so long. However, I haven't been able to find it anywhere. So the one local yarn store I typically go to in the city, they sell slub yarn, but they only sell it on minis, and they only have like maybe 10 minis, and they're like different colors, and I would need over 10 to make like a sweater or like a shirt or something. But it would cost me more to buy them in minis and do like a gradient or something versus if I just found a whole skein, like a 100 gram skein. So when I saw somebody had slub yarn, I could not pass it up, and I wanted to try it so bad, and I'm so excited. So I ordered 2 skeins of slub yarn from Campfire Yarns, and on the website it does say that slub yarn is, how did they put it? Like a limited edition base, so like basically what is there could potentially be all they have for dyeing, or that they're gonna dye and sell. I got the colorweight conch shell, and I got 2 skeins of this. So pretty. I want to make a knit summer t-shirt, and because it's slub yarn, I want to just knit it in stockinette and just let the yarn do its thing and look beautiful. So this is conch shell. They call it pebble fingering on their website, and it's 90% superwash, 10% nylon, 400 meters per 100 grams. And yeah, I have 2 skeins of those, so really beautiful, different shades of pink, some purple, some blue in there. I was just seeing if there's any other color. I don't think so. So I have 2 skeins of this pebble in conch shell. I will have the dyer link down below if you want to check out what else they may have in stock for yarn. They had a lot of beautiful yarn, and it was definitely hard to choose. The other thing I ordered was 3 skeins of DK weight yarn, because the dyer had sent me so I signed up for the mailing list, and then there was a coupon code for first time buyers, and since the slub yarn or the pebbled yarn was already on sale, I did not want to buy 2 things on sale and potentially use the coupon code which actually gave me a discount on both of them, which I didn't understand how that would have worked because I thought if it's already on sale, like I wouldn't get a discount. But anyways, I got a discount on both yarns. They're both really beautiful. I would have happily paid full price. So I got 3 skeins of the colorway Patina on their Plump 85 DK. And this is 85% merino, 15% nylon, 225 meters per 100 grams. And the only regret is I almost wish I ordered 1 extra skein, because I was thinking this would be really beautiful for spring sorrel, is it? Is it the spring sorrel or the summer sorrel? I think it's a spring sorrel. However, there was another pattern I was thinking about making with this, but I don't remember what it was. So this yarn is not 100% coming up on camera the way, okay, so this is much closer to what it actually is. So it's lots of different shades of brown, and then there's splashes of green in there. And it's more of like a toffee, caramel, brown, in those sorts of shade ranges. Sorry about the light, it has been very overcast today, and I think it's already past 3 o'clock, so the sun is not in peak position to be filming, but there's no way to really make my house any brighter. It's just the way it is. I guess I could have set up another light, but I've done that before and it just makes it weird. Anyways, this is that's all the yarn I ordered from Campfire Yarns, and then the other yarns I was gifted by my boyfriend is another skein of Color Story yarns, hand painted sock, 75-25, 400 meters per 100 grams. And this is the colorway Paint Box, and he did pick them out himself, thinking I would really enjoy them. So it has like a soft candy pink, and then there's lots of blues, there's lots of purples, there's some other pinks in there, there's some splashes of yellow. I think this would also make a really wonderful 1 skein shawl. I think this would make amazing socks, a Musselburgh hat, anything along those lines. I think it would look really great. I think this would also be really fun to cake up and then use the moss stitch with crochet, potentially pairing it with a neutral color to kind of balance out some of these huge color splashes, because I don't know what it would look like crocheted up, but sometimes you might get, it might be too busy for me if I were to crochet it with just by itself. But anyways, that is skein number 1. And then he also picked up 2 other skeins for me from the local yarn store, and I was actually really excited about these because I wanted to try the cotton yarn, but I was not going back to the yarn store anytime soon, so I would not be able to pick it up. And these are Malabrigo Verona, which is AZK worsted, 205 yards per 100 grams. It's 100% Pima cotton in the colorway Mixed Berries. And he picked up 2 of those for me, and I think they're stunning. They're actually really soft for a cotton. I've tried Burnett Softy Cotton, Burnett Baby Softy Cotton. Yeah, I tried that once, and that was one of the best cotton yarns I've ever used. I just wish there were more colors for it because there's not a lot. However, I am excited to try out this Pima cotton and see how I like it. So yeah, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching and joining me. If you have any questions about the projects, because I probably forgot something to say about them, or I don't know, do you have any New Year's resolutions? I think I want to do my goals in the next video, because I'm very unsure about my goals. I know I want to stash down this year, but what does that exactly look like for me? I don't want to go on a no buy or no spend, because I feel like that's too restrictive, and I think that could lead to me not enjoying knitting and crocheting and just not enjoying the craft in general. But I do want to stash down and definitely use up some of the sweater quantities that I have that I bought, and just some of the single skeins, and just some of the other randoms of yarn I have. But yeah, Do you have any goals? How was your Christmas? If you celebrate Christmas, if you celebrate another holiday, I hope it was great for you. If not, I am so sorry. I am here for you. Yeah. Let me know in the comments below, and I will link Ravelry project pages. I will link the dyer for Campfire Yarns. I'll link the hat pattern for Briana K, and I'll also link Cara & Co. Oh, I might link Longview Creations if you're interested in getting a bag, or Polka Dot Creek. If you would also like the same colorway that I have, vintage Christmas card to knit socks with. Another Canadian yarn dyer, very fun. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I will stop rambling now. Catch you on the next crafty episode.